Hey guys, welcome to the Readyman Show. Wanted to do a quick pack dump video. I'm heading back into the hills. This is about the third week of archery here. Well, 2.5 weeks in, I guess. This will be my second trip back to the area where I've got a tag. Went for 4 days. The first week of season, it was pretty hot, not a lot of bugling, so heading out here in a couple of days to spend another 4 days over there. So got my pack, just doing some repacking right now, getting my food ready, get everything else ready. So I want to do a quick pack dump, show you what's in my pack, what I'm taking. Obviously, my bow is pretty much the only thing not here other than my clothing, boots, all that stuff, which I can do in a separate video. But this is primarily what am I packing on my back, what am I taking into the hills for a day hunt, and then potentially an overnight, which would be adding in tent, sleeping bag. I'm not taking any of that right now. This is just pretty much what I'm carrying. So let me just jump into it. I'll just start on the hip belts, show what I got there. This is an extra battery for cell phone or my GoPro. Filming with my GoPro. I've got some wet wipes, toilet paper. I like to keep that stuff handy in my pouch, side pouch, hip pockets. The other hip pocket here, I have got a headlamp and some cow calls. That's pretty much it in there. And then on the back side here, GSI stainless water. I always fill that up before I'm leaving the truck, usually either full of, obviously full of water, but usually put an electrolyte in there in the morning before I'm heading out. And then over on this side, I'll just got my trekking poles. I've got the Peaks Sissy sticks. These are the Backcountry Elite. Just got those this year, so excited to try them out. They're super lightweight, and I like how they compact down. I was running some Cabela's XPGs. Retiring those this year. One of them I can't get to screw tight once I have it extended, so had to upgrade those this year. On the back side pocket here, just a couple of things. Extra tripod for filming. This is pretty much just for my cell phone or GoPro I can put on there. Just a real lightweight, flexible tripod. Cover for my bowstrings if I've got to strap my bow on the back. If I'm packing meat out, I like to just protect my bowstrings. Extra dry bag just in case. Part of that tripod for holding a cell phone. And then my load hauler. So if I need to disconnect my pack, which I would if I killed an elk, to haul meat, you would strap that on the frame. I did a video on that. You can go check that out. That's all I'm carrying in that back pocket. Stuff that I'm really not using all that much. And then I'll empty my lid here real quick. So face mask, some thick wool socks for stalks if I want to take my boots off, a rain cover for the pack, and then just some lightweight gloves, a warm hat. I think this is like the Peloton. Yeah, Peloton Kuiu hat, really warm. I like that when it's for cold mornings. And then an extra pair of gloves. These are the Access gloves, so they're a little more waterproof. I do like those. This is a Kuiu vest, the ultralight puffy vest. Packs down really light, like it just in case I end up staying out overnight, don't have a sleeping bag or anything, I can just layer up, just have a few things. A head attachment for my GoPro if I want to stick that on my head if I'm making a stock solo. Some extra paracord. And then we'll get into the main pocket here. I actually usually don't access it from the top. I usually access it from the side pocket, but there is this little pocket right here. I got an extra pair of socks, so these are just if my feet get wet and I want to trade socks out, put a dry pair of socks on. Just a pair of darn tough socks, and these ones are actually a little thicker than what I like wearing this time of year, but It's what I had. I'm just trying to pick a pair that I could leave in my bag, assuming I won't use them, but just in case I'll use them. I've got a spot connect in here. I've got an extra headlamp. Lots of floss picks. I try to carry those. I've got a tooth that catches food real bad, so I always have a floss pick on me. And then just some extra stretchy cord. I use that actually to wrap around my quiver to keep my arrows on if I need to, and if they're strapped on my back so I don't lose any of my arrows, which I have before out of my Matthews quiver. So that's what's in that pocket, and then we'll jump in to the main pocket. And I'll say with everything that I'm showing you right now, this is just a little over 30 pounds probably when my water's full. And I've got a lot of water in here, and that's where a lot of the weight is. Where I'm hunting the area I'm hunting, there is water sources, but they're primarily just reservoirs, stagnant water, not a lot of springs in the area. There are a few, but they're pretty sulfury. So that's kind of a last resort if I need to use my water filtration to get in there. So I'm packing a lot of water, which adds a lot of water, or a lot of weight to my pack. But the I guess, was within the first 7 days of the season, it was warm, and I went through every drop of water every day that I had. By the time it was evening and dark and I was heading back to the truck, I was almost out of water every single day. So, and that was packing this full, actually another little bottle that I use for mixing up protein shakes, had that full as well. And then carrying, which I'll just show you, I think I had 6 of these, 16 ounce bottles, 16, 17 ounce bottles. So that's what I've got in here right now. I've got 6 bottles. So I've got this packed pretty much ready to go. I'm leaving my house early in the morning. I've got to drive to get to where I'm going. So I won't be getting there till probably mid-morning. So I'm not, so I want to be able to get there and just jump out of the truck, grab my pack, and go hunt. So I've got this loaded as if I'm going out and hunting all day, not coming back to the truck until dark. Probably will be camping at the truck for this hunt. But so 6 bottles of water. And depending on what the weather's going to be like, I may be throwing more in there just to carry it. It's heavy, but I drink a lot of water. I'll drink half of that at least before noon. Just either doing a coffee, mixing up a couple of small protein shakes, that kind of stuff. So a lot of weight in water, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. I've got a jacket, and this is a pretty waterproof. Wouldn't say waterproof, but it's more of a rain jacket. It's warm. It's the Axis hybrid, or the Axis jacket from Kuiu. Very, very good for when it's raining. It's not it's not a rain jacket by any means where it's going to keep you completely dry if you're out in the rain for days, but in a light enough rain, and where you're going to have sporadic rain and have time to dry things out, it actually works pretty good. I got rained on last week for probably 2 hours wearing this, and it got a little bit damp on the outside. It stays dry on the inside, and once the sun came out, I hung it up for maybe 45 minutes and just let the breeze dry it before I stuffed it back in my pack. But very, very warm. I wear that in the wintertime too when there's snow on the ground. It's just a nice jacket. Does not breathe well, so it's got the vents in the armpits, which I like. So if you do end up hiking on those cold mornings, you can open those vents up, dump the heat out, unzip it. But I really like it for waterproof, when it's raining or snowing or a combination of both. A couple of bags in here. This one, I've got some batteries. So I got my headlamp batteries, Petzl, a couple of rechargeable Petzl batteries for my headlamp, and three AAA batteries, which again for my headlamp and for my Spot Connect. I think those will go in my Spot Connect. This is just extra mic for my GoPro or my phone when I'm filming off of, and some charging cords, some extra batteries. So these are just 3 little rechargeable batteries. They're really super lightweight and they last pretty good. I can fully charge my phone on that if I need to. And then I've got my water filtration. This is the Catadine or whatever, the bee-free water filtration. Yeah, the Catadine bee-free. I've used this maybe once, carried it for a few years now, but it's in there. I always carry it just in case I run out of water and run into a puddle I need to get water out of. When I'm hunting in the mountains, typically there's cleaner water, there's springs around. But like I said, where I'm hunting now, it'll be worst case scenario. It'll be an emergency situation if I have to dip into a stagnant water. And then just some extra clips and things for my pack if I do need to strap things on the outside. And a full-size garbage bag, like a contractor bag, just for whatever I might need it for. Keeping things dry or just whatever comes about with killing an elk. Another bag here, and this is essentially my kill kit minus my game bags. So got all my hunting license in here. I've got a Silky Pocket Boy saw. I have a Havalon knife, which I use for gutting, skinning. It's got some extra blades in here. And then I've also got another set of replaceable blades in here, along with some alcohol wipes, lens wipes for my binos, and another floss pick. So, some nitro gloves for skinning, gutting, an extra knife that I just use for skinning, generally used for skinning or breaking joints, whatever. It's a more solid knife that I've carried for quite a few years. It's nothing special, but it works as a backup. And then I always have a pocket knife on me too, in case I really get in a pinch and need another blade. Some athletic tape and a couple of Ziplocs. So Ziplocs for putting my tag in, tagging it on some meat or horns. And then I like to carry another extra couple big Ziplocs for mostly for putting a heart in to keep it clean, so I'm not stuffing it in with other game bags or in the game bag with other meat and getting dirty and grass and all that. I try to keep the heart clean, and or the tenderloins. If I want to cut the tenderloins off, maybe I'm cooking them out in the field or bringing them home that night, I like to just keep those clean and dirty, and because they can kind of get lost in a meat bag pretty quick. So I always carry a couple extra Ziplocs just for that reason. Some of my food for the day. This is just a bag of what I generally carry on a daily basis for snacks and food. I got some little corn tortillas I decided to bring for my freeze-dried meals, for either for breakfast or for dinner. This is a chicken teriyaki peak refuel. So I'm only bringing a dinner in this bag right now because I'm not going to be eating breakfast. I'll be grabbing breakfast at the gas station on the way there in the morning. So I've got my dinner if I'm out in the hills for dinner, if I don't make it back to the truck or whatever. Got that. I've got my MSR boiler and gas and lighters in this little dry sack. For my food, like I said, got some tortillas. I got some Stealthy bone broth mix for a protein shake. I've got some Simply Elizabeth granola. I really like that stuff. Fairly clean and just good snack food. A couple of nut packs from Costco. A couple of Lara bars. I've got some Element electrolytes. I usually drink at least one of these a day. Some days when I'm doing a lot of hiking, a lot of sweating, I'll do two. But usually one of those is good enough for me for a day. Those are pretty good. Like the flavor, they've got stevia in them, so you're not loading up with sugar. I've also got some Folgers dehydrated coffee. So I will generally, if I'm camping at the truck, I'm going to have a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe two before I head out, before daylight. But then I always try to carry an extra 1 or 2 servings of coffee for me. I use probably, when I make a full Jet boil size or MSR size boiler cup, I'll do 2 to 3 of those little Folgers dehydrated coffees in there, and I've got 6 of them in here, so I could do 2 cups of coffee with that if I stop and have breakfast mid-morning. And then I've got some jerky bites. These are pork jerky from Costco, really good. And then I've got some wild Alaska smoked salmon, really good too. And if I generally eat this later in the afternoon, I won't even eat dinner, because this actually fills me up pretty good. This is way more food than I would normally eat on any given day at home. But if I am exerting myself quite a bit and putting on a lot of miles, then I'll tend to eat a little bit more. So it just depends on how much sitting and glassing I'm doing. But that's a basic good example of my day snacks. And probably a pound or so in there. This granola is pretty full. I probably wouldn't eat that whole thing in one day. That's a big bag. I'll probably split that up between 2 days. My other bag and all my snack bags this go around are pretty similar. I got some Chomps sticks from Costco in some of my bags. I've got some pistachios in a couple of the bags too, just to mix it up a little bit. And then, like I said, just dehydrated meals for breakfast and dinner. I've got breakfast. I've got the biscuits and gravy, biscuits and sausage gravy, and the breakfast skillet. So generally eat one of those a day, and then depending on how hungry I am by the time I get back to the tent, whether I eat dinner or not. But yeah, this one's a chicken teriyaki and rice. I'll have a couple other ones to try. And other than that, in this bag, the only thing that I haven't showed you is and I've got another dry bag, and I strap this. You've got these little cross straps that will strap this tight and hold it to the frame. And this is pretty much the heaviest thing in my pack, and that is my game bags and my first aid kit. So, and that's always in there. I never, rarely ever take that out. So I keep that strapped in there. Everything else I can pretty much pull in, throw in and out of the bag. So I've got probably 5 or 6 game bags, enough for a full bull elk easily in there. And I've got a lot of cut up paracord like this in that bag as well. And they're not super lightweight. The ones I'm running, I don't remember what brand they are. I think maybe the Alaskan brand. I can't remember exactly. I've had them for a lot of years and haven't justified getting a new one yet. I'll get some new ones that are probably lighter weight eventually, but these ones are they've hauled a lot of meat out, and I just wash them after I'm done using them, and they just hold up. They're really, really good, and they're big. They'll haul all the meat that I need. And then my first aid kit, which has just got everything, the basics, tape. It's got lighters. I probably got a Cliff Bar or something in there for emergency. I've probably had a Cliff Bar in there for years. Some extra rope, paracord. I know I've got some Gorilla tape or some electrical tape in there, and then just a few other first aid items, maybe some Neosporin. Just basic things, nothing, that's gonna do any serious help, I guess, when it comes to major injuries. But anything, getting cut by a knife or getting cut by a broadhead or whatever, just the basics to administer first aid. And I think that's pretty much it. Feeling pretty empty, and yeah, that's what's in my bag. So other than that, like I said, I'm going to have my bow. I'm going to have my bino harness, and then obviously all the gear, the clothing, and my boots. I always take an extra pair of boots, but I'll do that on a separate video. So that's my basic pack dump right now. Not a ton, but again, with all the water, it's probably about 30 pounds, and enough to keep me going through the day. And if I need to stay out overnight in an emergency, I've got enough probably warmth there between my vest, my rain jacket, and I'm usually carrying one other pullover. I'll be wearing probably a Mountain Ops t-shirt, Mountain Ops long sleeve hoodie pullover, and then I will have a Kuiu Peloton zip up sweat. I think they call it a zip up sweatshirt I'll be wearing that essentially. So all of those clothes will be added in with me. And that's, if I get into a pinch, I could probably stay comfortably warm overnight with that, especially if I had to start a fire or whatever. As far as pants, probably be wearing it's going to be a little cooler this week than it was earlier in the season. I'll wear my Kuiu attack pants probably, because they're kind of that middle of the road. They're light enough to where you can wear them on warm days, but they hold enough heat to where if it does cool off, I'll be fine too. I may throw in my base layer under that too, which is my Kuiu zip off base layer for my bottoms. That doesn't weigh hardly anything, so I wouldn't mind throwing that in the pack just in case if something happens, especially when I'm hunting solo, as I will be the first day and a half anyway, and then my brother's going to be joining me. So, but that's my basic back dump. And yeah, if you like this video, want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. Go watch my other videos. I've done a couple other reviews on the packs, and I will be doing some reviews on some of the clothing I wear as well when I'm in the field, and kind of just give you a rundown on that, both for archery season and for rifle season. So thanks for watching, and stay ready.